No excuses, no opening caveats, just goals and just glory. If this is your first time here, welcome. This is a great time to get on board. So let's not waste any time. Here are the 5 headlines from Barcelona's 4-0 victory over Real Madrid in El Clásico. Wait, let's say that again. 4-0 victory over Real Madrid. Oh, that feels so good. 1 is Xavi's Big Match. This didn't decide or change the title race at all. This wasn't a big European night, but this was El Clásico. The way the team has been rolling in their now 13-game unbeaten streak in the league, this team didn't really need that confidence, but this says everything about Xavi as a manager. He had all but eliminated any doubts about him over the last 2 months, but there was still the question of Barca. Can they win a big match against a big side? And I do say quote-unquote big side, but I think you understand what I mean. Yes, the European giant, sure, but Real Madrid, they're a big team. Yeah, we know that they're frauds, sure, but they are still the team that knocked out PSG and are leading La Liga by double digits over Barca. The way Barcelona has been playing recently, the only question I had left, and I think I'm going to have until next season, is can Xavi get this team over that hump, beyond that mental block in these high-pressure matches, the ones that truly matter. And I can tell you that a 4-0 win over Real Madrid at the Santiago Bernabeu goes a long way to ending that. I want to thank OneFootball for sponsoring this video. OneFootball is the app I use to keep myself up to date on all things FC Barcelona, everything I need to know, as well as check on every other team that Alemany could be scouting right now for a big summer transfer window. With a custom-tailored homepage, stay up to date with breaking news, live scores, and even transfer news. While on the go, you can check with matches in live time and watch videos afterwards. Use the link in the description for a free download of OneFootball on Android or iOS to put all of your football in one place. And you'll help out a tiny Barca channel too. Thanks to OneFootball again for sponsoring this video. Now back to the Barca business. 2 is building to the first, because the first goal is where this whole match changed. It was all up for grabs, it was all in the balance, and Barcelona, they did concede the first 2 opportunities, if you will, on goal, but at that point, it was all Barca for the rest of it. I think rightly, Aubameyang gets the first on a header from Dembélé. Madrid did have those 2 attempts up to that point, but Barcelona had been the better side. Ferran Torres against Carvajal was the matchup to exploit, and it was like everyone, including Barca and Real Madrid, forgot that Nacho can't stay with Dembélé. And that's what happened on that first goal. Dembélé right at Nacho, Aubameyang makes a near post run and gets in front of Eder Militao. It was unacceptable last weekend when Osasuna defender allowed Aubameyang to get inside positioning on him where he was still in front of that near post. And Eder Militao, he might be a better defender, but he committed the same mistake. You probably heard the story about Aubameyang scoring against Madrid in the past for Borussia Dortmund and having wanted to play for them as a kid, but scoring in El Clásico means that you're going to go down in history as a Barcelona player. The fun stat here, via Mr. Chip, Aubameyang is the second player to score 2 goals and provide an assist on his debut in the Clásico. The first man to do this, Barcelona fans and Kool-Aids want to forget this, 1953, it was Alfredo Di Stefano, the one player that in all of these 2 teams' history has defined certain eras. I heard the 1960s being brought up quite a bit about how Real Madrid had that string of victories against Barcelona. They hadn't beaten Barcelona that many times since the 1960s when Di Stefano was the main man. And for Aubameyang, he'll go down in history as one of the guys that made sure that that history wasn't continued. 3 is Rojo over Dani Albez. This is hindsight for sure. This match, I felt like when I saw the lineups, I thought it was going to be a draw, but not having Karim Benzema, that's the first thing we circle. I was actually confused by the hand-wringing online that it was Rojo at right back over Dani Albez and Eric Garcia got the start. I had said on the podcast, I had said in the match preview that if there was no Benzema, I did expect to see Eric Garcia. Because Real Madrid would not have that main man, that target striker. Really the only issues that we've seen Eric Garcia have is with those main guys, some of the best of the best. So without him, Eric Garcia could do what he does best, and that is pass his way out of trouble and make sure that that back line with the ball has a bit more control with the window of Araujo as that left center back. And then Araujo on the right side, all he had to do today was defend Vinicius Jr., and that goal was more than you could ask from him. And it should be noted on set pieces, unlike against Galatasaray when he wasn't there, that being Araujo, he was also asked tonight to be the man in the air, and oh, he was. Made that header look easy. Alaba and Militao have been good, but they've also made a few mistakes. And those mistakes came to play on that second goal. Araujo, well, just like Dembélé, those guys can go to the table now after this match and say, hey, look what I did in El Clásico. It's going to make things a little bit tougher for Barcelona moving forward, but clearly the conversation, I think, is going to change about Araujo and Dembélé and their futures with that Catalan club. 4 is Modric without service. I'm praising Xavi here, and rightfully so. He deserves the credit. He got his lineup, he got his tactics right, as he had so many times already. On the other sideline, though, Carlo Ancelotti, for as good as he has always been for Real Madrid, old reliable on that sideline, sure, through different incarnations of the club, he got it so wrong today. Not having Benzema was the thing that tipped the scales in Barcelona's favor, sure. But having Modric be the man up top, that was where Ancelotti got it, as I said, completely wrong. No Benzema meant he had to make a decision. There was no replacing the number 9. But would it be Asensio, Bale, or Isco at the point of the attack? The answer is no one. But Modric in that spot wasn't the answer. And this goes back to Xavi starting Garcia. His confidence on the ball meant that Madrid couldn't press high the way they wanted to, and the way they have against lesser teams to get themselves back in games. Barca could just keep controlling and building up through the back. And as we've talked about, Barcelona's rest defense has been hit or miss this year. But in this kind of game, where Barca knew exactly what the opposition wanted to do from the very, very beginning, the personnel that Xavi went with got it right today. And when we didn't get to 10,000, 4-0 in El Clásico is enough for everyone to say hello to my little friend here. Yeah, she's excited about El Clásico as well. So this was not headline number 5, but it at least is my headline here that we're celebrating in our household. So thanks for 10,000, everybody. Because headline number 5 is 4-0 is history. Don't let all those misses and all the chances that Barcelona didn't convert, because yeah, this game could have been 5-0, 6-0, 7-0, 8-0. But 4-0, that kind of number makes those special years and those special moments pop up. That kind of scoreline reminds you of 1974 with Cruyff, 2010 with Pep Guardiola, 5-0 like those days. This was utter domination. And interestingly enough, Barcelona have won their last 4 games at the Santiago Bernabeu, visiting a Real Madrid team that are leading La Liga. They did it in 2010, 11, 2014, 2017, and now 2022, interestingly enough. There's also 9 times in their history that Barca has scored 4 or more goals against Real Madrid. It seems like a lot, but remember, these two teams have been facing off for 120 years. So this being the 9th time, and you got to watch this match, and I'm glad you got to enjoy this post-match review with me. Tomorrow on the podcast, we're going to have to continue to break down the individual performances here, because every player for Barcelona does deserve a full clap of full applause here. Aubameyang with 2 goals, Rojo with 1, Dembélé was fantastic, the assist, Ferran Torres got his goal, Pedri was marvelous, Barcelona's back line was more than solid, Busquets and De Jong coordinated that midfield, Ter Stegen was impactful. This is a great day that I have waited years for, and I can actually say years here. There are so many times over the last few seasons when even when Barcelona had won, you kind of felt like they didn't do it the way that Kool-Aid's won, or the way that my audience was going to want to see. But this one today is nothing but celebration. And this is certainly the most enjoyable international break that I have had in quite some time. But I won't take a break. Tomorrow, the podcast, I've got a very, very special guest. It's somebody that longtime listeners will know quite well. Let's put it that way. So hopefully, yeah, he's available and doesn't cancel on me, because this is going to be a good podcast to enjoy tomorrow. One that we've waited a long time to record. So until then, as always, Forza Barca.